You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
Off here, I was just saying, that my child was born with 11 fingers, and you didn't know that. So, bit of background before we talk Dolphin stuff.
So Miami Micah was born with 11 fingers.
Yes, but I was born with 12.
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond but across the world. I'm your boy Charlie Touche. I got my 12-finger co-host Kadeem Simmons with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast and official affiliates of Fanatics, where you could be a fanatic of your favorite franchise. Kadeem, what's going on here, bro?
I was born with 12 fingers and 11 toes. Voice of the podcast, Jordan, was 12 fingers, 12 toes. So it comes from my granddad's side, so my mum's dad's side of the family. Don't know if you can see it, but basically it was a little finger, and there's a little scar there. Can't see it too.
Y'all got to remove?
Yeah. So with me and my sister, they would tie a string around it. The finger would die, and then it would either drop off or they would cut it off. Miami Micah was meant to have surgery on the 26th of June. Go back to the middle of May, and it's like a little like string vein, and then like a little part basically, because it was two months early, so it wasn't fully developed. It turned black, so we take him to A&E. I'm like, that's all good. It just means
what is A&E?
Accidents and emergency.
Okay, so is that sounds like the emergency room, but we call it emergency room. Okay.
Yeah. Is it ER?
ER, emergency room, yeah.
Yeah, ER. Yeah. So we spend 4 hours in A&E/ER, basically to be told it's all good. It will just drop off. And before I jumped on the podcast, Anna was feeding him, and then accidentally pulled his finger, and it dropped off. It dropped off. Oh, so she pulled it off, yeah. And he cried a bit, but it was all good.
Talk about a new definition of pull my finger.
Yeah.
Whoa. What's going on with your family, bro? So Miami Mutant Miami. What's going on here? We got Jordan, the voice of the podcast, with 12. And hold up, bro. So I don't even want to. So all of them got you removed all of them, the 12 toes and the 12.
Yeah. They just tie a string around it, and
hey, was there ever a thought of? Let's see what happens. Let's do this thing.
No, I think you kind of get the option to keep it, but it also depends on how it develops. So some people have like a bone, like ours didn't have a bone, which is why you could tie a string around it and it'll fall off. But some people like would grow with a bone, so you'd have to like have it surgically removed because you've got to cut through the bone and stuff like that. So thankfully for us, that wasn't the case. But yeah, man, 12 fingers.
Well, some of our boys on the Miami Dolphins could use a couple extra fingers to catch the ball and not have so many drops. And that's going to be our segue to this episode. What we got, Kadeem?
So there's been an ongoing debate, which was, I can't call it a debate. So Reason, The Real Reason, got a YouTube channel. And a couple of weeks ago, he made a video called "This is Why You Can't Trust the Media Covering the Miami Dolphins." It was published on the 18th of May. And in it, he basically says, and I'm now paraphrasing, It's beat writers today don't know what they're talking about. They get a bunch of stuff wrong. They basically aren't worth the money they are paid. But content creators like himself, they're the future. He talks about how he called a few things correctly in terms of like, the Dolphins should do this in the draft, or the Dolphins are running this kind of scheme. And, he talks about how he knows the X's and O's and all of this kind of stuff. And it creates a whole culture war on Dolphin social media where people are taking sides, content creators or journalists. I've been speaking for a while now, but that's kind of where we are at the start of June, and this is still an ongoing debate 2 weeks later.
So I don't see the problem, Kadeem. I don't. If there's a problem, I think it's probably the journalists, quote unquote. The problem is the journalists feel some type of way about the podcasters because they may feel that some of the podcasters are infringing upon the territory of the journalism. If I had to guess, I don't understand that though, because it's 2025, bro, and nothing is what it was 25 years ago, and let alone 35 years ago. You got Ubers and Lyft. Well, you know what? Let's not name none of them. You got ride shares. You know what I'm saying? You used to have taxis once upon a time, and there's still taxis. Bro, last time I took a taxi, Kadeem, I had COVID. It was in the middle. Matter of fact, I returned from London. That was the last time I took a taxi. I returned from London in 2021. Before that, Kadeem, I cannot tell you the last time I took a taxi. Maybe no, I didn't even take one when I was in London. I never taken a taxi in London. So it's like, bro, who uses taxis anymore? Maybe people in New York. I don't know. That seems like a thing. Then you have hotels. I mean, you see what the B&Bs are doing nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just, we could rent out your own room, your own house, all this other good stuff, and let strangers stay with you. What else we got, Kadeem? We got Ubers.
It even goes as far as like contactless cards.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, with human interaction, because I feel like there's way more.
Charlie, what we're doing right now, Skype, video calls, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And even the journalists on major broadcast networks use a lot of video calls, and it's almost the norm. You know what I'm saying? So the life is not what it used to be. Bro, I really feel like I'm missing out on some other stuff, but I'm gonna let you go because I'm gonna think about what I really want to say. But listen, bro, it's 2025, bro. Why should we be limited to the 6 or 7 beat writers for a team to facilitate all of the content from the team? I don't like it.
I think what my issue with this whole conversation, debate, argument is that the two sides coexist with each other. But I personally feel like content creators need beat writers more than the other way around, because as many people have pointed out, beat writers are their day-to-day. They are asking questions of, coaches and players, which is a whole other conversation I'll get to in a bit. But without beat writers writing stories, writing opinions, getting news, content creators would, not all the time, but would sometimes struggle. So even though a Dolphins beat writer didn't break the Jonnu Smith potential trade news, a journalist as a whole wrote that story or tweeted it out, shout out to Adam Schefter, and then content creators were like, okay, cool, fair enough, we are going to talk about this. But even to the point where, and part of what Reading was talking about was, it might have been Joe Shad, I think it was Joe Shad, talking to the rookies at the rookie minicamp, asking them where they're going to be living, by the beach or in the city. And he took offense to that, saying, you have this access to talk to players, and that's the question you'd ask. Why not ask X, Y, and Z?
Bro, I didn't mind that question either, though, bro. I remember we kind of I felt like, yo, there's a segment of the fan base that thinks that's pretty cool. And if you know, we could be a little transparent, Kadeem. I remember, and not to show too much, but there was a conversation about London beat writers or beat writers in the UK, and there was what's your best UK accent? And for some NFL fans, it's kind of played out like, yo, ask a football question. But for me, I'm like, oh, I love it. Let's bro, that's a question every year that is fun, and it could be done every single time. I need to hear your best American accent. I need to hear your best UK accent. So it's really to each his own. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I'm gonna hit you with some Spanish real quick since we're going to España. No, I'm not, because I can't remember how to say it. But look, bro, like some prefer A, some prefer Z, and some prefer everything in between. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see a big problem. And you what you just said was, I think you said content creators need beat writers more so than the other way around. You said that, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I agree with that. And here's why. Maybe it's like that to receive information from the team type of stuff. But bro, and this is letting y'all into my life a little bit. Once upon a time, there was a newspaper. Hey, matter of fact, I thought of some more stuff like Instacart and DoorDash and stuff like that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like there was deliveries where it had to come directly from the company. Now there's all types of stuff you can facilitate receiving food. So once upon a time, there was a newspaper. Once upon a time, there was Sports Illustrated where they actually sent you magazines. They actually delivered newspapers. And I know for people under the age of 19, that might be hard to fathom. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, now I realize as a content creator myself, YouTube, bro, my algorithm on YouTube is my newspaper. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever I turn on the TV, and it's not on the phone, I'll turn on the TV, I'll go to YouTube, and I'll say, oh, let's see what the headlines of the day are. And then here goes the MMA headlines. And there's a whole bunch of different MMA podcasts and sites where I could just, let's see what they're talking about. And the same thing with football, same thing with the Dolphins. So we're in a different world, bro. And maybe I don't care for what the beat writers are giving me, and I exclusively want what the content creators are giving me because it's more creative than what the beat writers are giving me, right? So I think it's to each his own, but at the same time, it's just opinionated.
Yeah, I was watching before we went live. I was watching the Phins Faithful episode. They discussed this, and again, I think it's interesting because I'll touch upon this very quickly. There are so many Dolphin fans, not just in Miami but around the world, and there are some who have no time for content creators because they grew up with beat writers, and that's the only time they want to get information. They don't even use social media. They will wait for the Miami Herald or the Sun Sentinel or whatever to get information. That is what they do. And I kind of feel like to have a go at beat writers, and again, I don't like most of the beat writers simply because they're just not for me. But I also come from a journalistic background, and I respect them because I understand how difficult it is to be a journalist. And I'm just at a point where we should be coexisting. But I feel like there is this I'm better than you attitude from both sides, which means that some people just can't coexist. And I feel like it's not really a beat writer's, or it wasn't a beat writer's job to know the X's and O's and all this kind of stuff, to know about the draft. Because if you think about it, I can imagine newspapers in the States, would have had multiple writers. They would have had draft writers, and then talk about like the Herald. We've had draft writers and Dolphins writers, and you kind of don't really cross because hey, each has their own, I guess, alley or their own lane. But as newspapers are dying and people are being laid off, the older beat writers need to know more. And hey, You can't teach a dog new tricks. So for some, you know what? I'll finish that point later. You're gonna say something. Sorry.
Bruh, you just dropped the real bomb. The real bomb is social media. Like, social media isn't only for journalists, it's for everybody. Now everyone can have an opinion. And then that's why I always say, hey, if you put your opinion out there for public consumption, don't get upset when the public consumes it. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm okay with beat writers. I'm also okay with content creators. But I'll be real with you, Kadeem. The more we talk about this right now, and bro, bro, out of the stuff that we 5,000 subs. Shout out to all of the subs. And we might have to get into a timeout for a second, but shout out to all of the subs. We didn't think we were going to have 5,000 subs once upon a time or one day. We didn't think we were going to have almost 1 million views. Like, we didn't think anything. We was just making a podcast. That being said, Kadeem, the more I think about this, I'm like, bro, journalists are fighting for their lives right now, their careers, their livelihood. And that's why you see journalists kind of they're treading water, trying to stay afloat, and maybe some of them are taking jabs at content creators as if, oh, you're just a content creator. You don't have really no inside or links to the team. When I beg to differ, like, because I believe this podcast has dropped some stuff that came out first, some exclusive stuff, and same thing with some other podcasts. So, nah, bro, it's enough room for everybody. Also, before we get into this timeout, what you just said about, yo, you gotta in the MMA world, bro, journalists they hardly exist in the MMA world. And it's getting to a point like that in the NFL world where the content creators have taken over the entire sport. And no one cares about journalism or journalists in the MMA community. They want to hear everyone else's opinion who has established a footing and a career of their own in the industry. And that's why I feel like I don't think anyone should hate on anybody. Like, if we were able to establish our footing, get all types of sponsorships with podcasting, and people come to Go Time Dolphins for their content, why would someone hate on that? That's just like straight hating. Like, no matter how much I dislike some of these journalists, I'm not gonna hate on them if they blow up, which some of them have. And I'm like, I don't know why people would want to listen to that, but yo, it is what it is. But we can take a time out whenever you're ready.
Enjoying the episode so far? Whether you're watching in the comfort of your own home or on the go, Go Time Dolphins is where you want to be for your fix on all things Dolphins. So hit that like button, drop a comment below, and make sure to subscribe to the channel to help us keep growing and reaching more Phins fans around the world.
What's interesting is I've seen people turn around and say that content creators, journalists now want that YouTube money. That's why they go into YouTube and stuff like that. And I could not disagree more, because I've been a journalist. And again, it's more the older journalists as opposed to the younger journalist. The older journalists, especially if you was a writer, you're an economist, like, you came into the industry, came into your job, and all you did was write articles. That's all you did. Because, like you mentioned, there was no social media. There was no, you might do the odd radio appearance, but for the most part, you was a writer. The radio guys did radio, TV guys did TV. You did, your written journalism. Whereas nowadays, and you see it if you're going to do a journalism course, you need to know how to edit video, edit audio, be able to use Photoshop, be able to write, be able to speak to camera. And again, if you're an older beat writer, you didn't have that training. You're still learning as you're going along. And you're seeing these content creators, it's like, I've got to learn that as well. I have to write my 4 to 5 articles a day and my column, and I'll jump on a YouTube video because my editor wants me to do that. And all I want to do is to write. There are some who would understand and know the importance of, telling stories across multiple mediums and stuff like that. But this whole, beat writers want YouTube money. They just want their industry to not die. Because, again, like you said, if the Miami Herald, the Sun Sentinel, whatever, it's like, hey, we are stopping this and we're going to full content creators, yo, that's someone losing a livelihood. And I find it so interesting because even the content creators who are talking about this now, there's a whole new generation of content creators who are going to surpass us so quickly that you have no idea. I was watching the Champions League final, and I Show Speed is on the pitch with everyone, and they all know I Show Speed, and they all know his dances. Yo, that's a content creator. And do you not think that in a few years there's going to be a Dolphins content creator who knows the whole team because the team are just going to look at his stuff, and the people complaining about beat writers now are going to be complaining about the next wave of content creators because they're going to steal all their views. And I'm going to sit there and go, hold that, because you were beefing with the wrong people. But it is what it is.
George St. Pierre said this, one of the best mixed martial artists ever. He said, the athletes of today are better than the athletes of yesterday. And the athletes of tomorrow are going to be better than the athletes of today. And that's basically what Kadeem just said. Bro, when we do this podcast, I have ideas and stuff that I want to do and all this good stuff. And sponsorships are really nice. You know what I'm saying? Like when them things pop up, it's really nice. Shout out to MMA Guru. And the reason why I keep going back to MMA, because it's kind of synonymous with this content creator thing. The most popular content creator in the MMA scene is like a 26-year-old, bro. Very abrasive, very controversial. You know what I'm saying? This dude don't pull no punches, and he's a millionaire because of his content, right? All types of endorsements and views and all types of subs. And this dude was on the precipice of something that I don't want to say because I don't want to get demonetized, but he was planning on not being here anymore with us. You know what I'm saying? If I could say that and everyone could catch it. So, and that changed his life. And Kadeem, bro, if there was a way, once upon a time, bro, you know I make music. Once upon a time, I was like 15. And rap music wasn't even a thing. It was a thing, but it wasn't like people wasn't doing it. They weren't rapping. And then once upon a time, everybody was rapping. Now everybody raps. You know what I'm saying? It was like, dang, I'm glad I started when I started, right? My only regret in this podcast thing is not starting when LB told us to start. Like 2.5 years sooner, when I'm like, oh yeah, this was a great idea. You know what I'm saying? So how can someone hate on someone because they are making a living? They found a way to make a living and carve their own path, and they could bring in money to feed their families. How can you hate on that in a wholesome, like legal way to do it, bro? You know what I'm saying? So I can never hate on that.
I was going to say, and it's a nice segue, I think it comes from a place of jealousy. And I say that because I don't know the reason behind why Inside NFL and Reason done that episode, but I don't want to project onto him, but I feel like there are content creators, Dolphins, whatever teams, and they're jealous of the access that beat writers get, because if I feel like they're sitting there going, I do this better than you. I know more about the Dolphins and this team and the up and coming guys than you do. I know about, the scheme the Dolphins are running on both sides of the ball, all this kind of stuff. And you're sat there covering this team on a daily basis and you're not even doing it correctly. And I find it so interesting because my personal belief is if beat writers took content creation, and when I say content creation, I'm talking, podcast, audio, visual, all that kind of stuff. If they took that seriously, they would win first round knockout because they have the contact, they have the sources. When Omar Kelly left to do that podcast with who was it with?
Yeah, I don't want to get the name wrong because there's so many of them out there, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was a former NFL player.
Oh no, it was Brandon Marshall, but I was
Brandon
talking about
Marshall.
the name of the podcast.
Oh no. Also, yeah. Do you think content creators? And the thing is, there are some that can do that because they have the contacts and the sources. But if someone like Joe Shad, if Joe Shad tomorrow was like, "Hey, I'm starting my own podcast," he just needs to open his phone and go, "Hey, Tua," and Tua is probably the hardest one to get. But hey, Tua, hey Tyreek, hey Thing, all that kind of stuff. Jump on the pod, and that's when the content creators are scrambling. It's going to be absolutely insane. So yeah, I think it comes from a place of jealousy. I think I haven't really got to this bit yet, and I'll hand over to you before I get to the next point I want to make about being a journalist myself and knowing both sides of the argument.
Kadeem, Pat McAfee left the NFL, bro. Like the 0.00001% of people who attempt to get into the league make the league, and he was in that 0.00001%, and he left it to start a podcast. And now he has one of the most lucrative podcasts on the planet. Like, bro, I mean, listen, bro. Like, again, I cannot hate on anyone who found a way to do it and make it happen. You see what I'm saying? So I had some things to say. I don't want to say some of them things. So I'm gonna just get back to you, bro.
Yeah, part of the reason I wanted to do this as well is, again, for those who don't know, I was a sports journalist. I was a sports editor. I was, and as far as I know, I still am. I was the first black sports editor of a daily national newspaper in the UK. In the history of the entire new UK newspaper industry, I was the first black sports editor of a daily national newspaper. I know what it's like being a sports journalist, and it's difficult. And this whole, they don't drop sources, they don't drop exclusive stories. Do you know how difficult it is to get an exclusive story? Like, it's not impossible because people do it, but the time and all that kind of stuff. And what I find so annoying, and we kind of do it as a joke and stuff like that, but when a beat writer drops a story and it's like, "Oh, what's your source?" One, I'm not going to tell you my source. Like, that's how sources work. I'm never going to tell you my source. But the flip side to that as well is that if the story then changes, people then have a go at the journalist saying that they were wrong. It's like, no, they weren't wrong. It's that things change. Things change 24/7. So we've kind of had it here where we've heard information and gone, hey, one, we can't really say it because we've been told we can't say it. But then two, sometimes it changes. We're like, oh, snap. It doesn't mean the information that we got told was incorrect. It just means the story changed.
Bro, we still have stuff. And shout out to Sherrod Steve and the group chats and all the other stuff, bro. You know how hard it is? Well, obviously you do. You know how hard it is to have some information and they just want to tell the homies, like, bro, like, watch what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, maybe I don't want to let me tread lightly. You feel me? But at the end of the day, Kadeem, it is no longer about journalists versus podcasters or content creators, whatever you want to call them. It's about entertainment. This is it. We are now in the entertainment business. Whether people like to hear it or not, this is what it is, really. It is the entertainment business. Shout out to everyone who rocks with Go Time Dolphins. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the like. You know what I'm saying? Please listen to the first 11 minutes of the episode if you're on Spotify and Apple Music because we get paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Like, for real, for real. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Kadeem, if we're not entertaining people, they're not going to come to us. They're going to find another source for their entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And whether that is a journalist or a podcast or something, or a show or whatever you get your entertainment from for your Dolphins content, it is what it is. Like, we are in the entertainment business, bro. So, and I said, bro, how many times a month do hey, we gotta get better, Kadeem. If we're gonna do this, we might as well commit to it. You feel me? We gotta commit. You know what I'm saying? Burn the ships. This is what we do now. You know what I'm saying? So it can't just be two friends that have barbershop conversations about the Miami Dolphins. We kind of have to do the entertainment thing. And bro, I have some ideas, and I don't want to say them now because while we're talking about this episode, I'll tell you afterwards. But yeah, man, we gotta get better, and it's the entertainment business. And if someone said, "Oh, look at these two clowns," they think they're doing something, I'll be like, I hate to bring this name up again, but MMA Guru, dude from the MMA world, he had one of the dopest one-liners, and he probably doesn't even remember it, but he basically said, listen, and again, remember, he's very abrasive, very, very brash, very yeah, dude he's out there. He said, I don't care, and this is what he said, this is not what I said, but he said, I don't care about your take on my take about the UFC. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So he basically said, yo, you came to me for my take. I don't have to care about your take on my take. And although I don't agree with some of that, but at the same time, it's like, yo, I would like to hear people's opinions. You feel me? Cool. Hit us up in the chats. Yo, might as well drop a link. If you think you have something to say, yo, we might as well start getting people on the podcast more so than we did before. You know what I'm saying? And like, yo, let's chop it up. Let's see what you got. You feel me? So yeah, man, this is the entertainment business, and it runs parallel to social media. Everyone has an opinion, and social media has allowed everyone to voice their opinion. And same thing with content creators. So if you got a problem with content creators, change the channel.
I'll say very quickly. It's funny to talk about Pat McAfee kind of going from the NFL to what he does now and stuff like that. And when it comes to content creators and beat writers / journalists, again, I've done both. I do both. Not everyone could be a content creator. We've seen some awful podcasts that barely last a week, let alone a year. And I feel like, again, there's stages to this. Not everyone can be a content creator, but it's easier to be a content creator than be an actual journalist. So, and I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, and if you want to take it disrespectfully, it is what it is. I don't think Reason could be a journalist. Do you know how difficult it is to write a 500-word article or even a 250-word article coherently?
I'm not about that life. Well, actually, I am about that life. Maybe because I'm a songwriter and I used to journal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No, but to write an article and tell a story and so that it flows, and that from the opening 5 words to the last 5 words, you got to stick with it and stuff like that. And I feel like not everyone can be a content creator, but it's easy to be a content creator. But the top 1% turn out to be beat writers. But it's the same with any sport. There are some bad beat writers. Listen, how many players go on to be NFL players and have 4, 5, 6 year careers? And even in there are going to be some really, really, really bad players, because while there's an element of skill, an element of luck, and just being in the right place at the right time to a degree. And I feel like, I wasn't the best journalist. I know guys who was on my course who were so much better than me, but I stuck with it and I got the lucky breaks and stuff like that. And I just feel like from where this conversation started, it was so unnecessary, because you're taking jabs at people who, not all of them, but there are some who would spin the floor with him if it was the other way around. And I would honestly, to content creators who think that beat writers are bad, try and spend not even a week, a day doing their job. They last an hour, if that. It's such a difficult, it's a skill. Being a journalist and a beat writer, to me, is a genuine skill, which many people can't do.
At the end of the day, Kadeem, it's not even about who's better. There isn't a better. You know what I'm saying? It's who wants what. It's not even a better. There's no way to even determine who's better. For real. Now, you might say who's more accomplished, but it doesn't mean who's better. You feel me? Like there's some stuff on YouTube, bro, where there's content. There's 7-year-olds with channels that have 1 million followers, 1 million subs. You feel me? Is this is what is deemed better than the other 7-year-old who has a? It's crazy. It is what it is. It's entertainment, bro. It's all it is, bro. So, you want to get in overtime, or we got something else on this side?
Oh man, let's get into overtime.
Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive. Test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
Still listening? Then you're one of us. Got a day one Dolphins fan you know who hasn't found Go Time Dolphins yet? Put them on. As you're rocking with the show, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and drop a comment on your favourite podcast app, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music or Google Podcasts. It helps more Phins fans find the pod and keeps the community growing strong.
Not confirmed, but it sounds like the 8th of July is when tickets for the Madrid game go live. The NFL London games are having a massive issue where they can't sell out the games because ticket prices have risen like 200% over the last few years, and people are kind of just getting sick and tired of it. Ticketmaster had to pause releasing tickets because, like, I think the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium holds something like 60,000 seats, and they were accused of over 250,000 people. And what people are saying is take away from Ticketmaster, give it to the teams, and get tickets through the teams. Without giving too much away, you got tickets for the London game, for the Germany games, and stuff like that. How difficult has it been for you getting tickets?
It was not difficult at all to get London tickets. It was the easiest process. It was like a regular Miami Dolphin game. It was not difficult whatsoever, or not just Miami Dolphin. It was like a regular sporting event in the United States. Any team. For anyone who was look, it's easy to get Dolphin tickets. Nah, it was the easiest. It was like a regular day, regular. You know what I'm saying? The Germany game though was extremely difficult, Kadeem, and that's how we ended up where we ended up. Because I wanted to, I'm trying to call the play for coach. You feel me? I'm trying to be down there by the bench. Like, hey, coach, what we doing? You feel me? So we couldn't get those tickets for whatever reason, but Germany was extremely difficult to get. And Kadeem, I'll be honest with you, it was at a point where we had everything booked and didn't have the game tickets, which is uncommon from how we usually do it. We get the tickets and book everything as soon as we get the tickets because it's easy to get the tickets, and we book everything like same day. Germany, however, we booked everything, but we didn't have tickets. And I didn't like that feeling. Like, man, I'm going to fly all the way to Germany to watch the game at a wing spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't like that idea. So this year, I hope it's different. I hope we could clean it up, because actually we're about to do it again the same way we did Germany. I just told you before the episode started, we were about to book our ticket last week, the hotels and stuff like that, flights, hotels. We're flying into London. Then from London, we're going to Spain. Then from Spain, we're going back to Miami. But I might go from Spain back to London. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But look. So anyway, but yeah, man, I just hope it's not crazy to get these tickets, bro. So I'm not sure, man.
I feel like
Actually,
this is.
I'm not going back to London. I just thought of it. I'm not.
I feel like it's going to be very difficult to get Germany tickets. Again,
You mean
so
Spain tickets?
so Spain tickets. Sorry, yeah. So my Germany experience was, and it's funny. London tickets hasn't been too difficult, and I even done one game in the press box with 5 Yard League, and we lost to last. Not live in that game. Germany, on the other hand, I left it last minute. I was kind of like, I'm in a Narvin. Should I go? Should I not go? I'll leave it. And then me and five, I remember I booked, I booked my plane and hotel the Monday, the week of. I got my game day tickets on the Friday at the airport in London. 48 hours before, that's when I got my ticket. I've already booked my plane, my hotel, that's already sorted. Ticket now is weird. I'm not concerned because deep down, I know I'll get a ticket. I might have to pay over the odds, but deep down, I know I'll get a ticket because, again, plans change for everyone. And there are some people who will buy tickets when they come out and have no intention of going and try and sell them on. And they can try and sell them on for 2 times or 3 times the price. And then a few weeks before, say, hey, I just want my money back. So good luck to everyone who's going to try and get a ticket. I hope you're all successful to a point where, not that I don't get it, but yeah, I just thought I'd ask because the London experience has people now genuinely considering not doing the London games anymore because it's so expensive and getting tickets is becoming really, really stupid.
People in London, you mean, or people
Well,
around like the
So,
countries around
so
London?
people in the UK for the London games, it's just when some tickets are like £200-300. Once they travel into London and they, do hotels and all that kind of stuff, you're looking at like around £1,000, and you can fly to the States and catch a game for that exact same price. So why not just go and do that?
I don't know, bro. I like London, bro. I like the London games. I like everything about London when the Dolphins play in London, except that we always lose.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I have not seen the Dolphins win in an international game ever.
No.
Here
And
I
that,
am off to Spain. Vamonos.
I'm gonna say that first game, we didn't even see him score a point.
I knew I should have started Alvin Kamara that week, bro. Bro, listen, you don't understand, bro. Like I knew, but I was like, yo, Alvin Kamara. I had Alvin Kamara on my fantasy team, and I knew he was gonna be a thing, bro. But he didn't come out yet. He didn't have a coming out game yet, and that was it right there on the Dolphins game. They mopped the floor with us. Cuddy came off the couch. We did great that first drive, and then I don't know if it was a pick inside the 10-yard line or if it was turnover on downs inside the 10-yard line. But we drove. It was, oh yeah, we good. We all right. And we were not all right after a while, bro.
No. But without that game, there's no go time Dolphins, so crazy.
Man, bro. Are we gonna do a podcast in person?
Oh yeah, 100 have to. 100% we have to. Have to 100%.
Dang, I'm still thinking about moving to London, bro. Not as much as I used to, bro. It was either 2 years ago, 2 years, 2.5. Bro, I was like, man, what do I do? I was really thinking about, man, I'm moving to London, and it didn't happen. Oh, I didn't. I chose option C. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, this could have been in person. That would have been pretty dope. GTD in person, like, oh yeah, that would have been entertainment.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That would
Quickly before we go, Thomas Valentine from PFF, he's done his quarterback rankings already.
Oh, this man already got his quarterback rankings.
But it's interesting now because it's June, which means quarterback rankings are around the corner. Like, we need to get Shea Steve on to go over some stuff and then start getting those rankings, because before we know it, it's going to be upon us. So quarterback rankings very, very soon.
All right. That's all I got.
Then until the next one, we shall see you soon. Peace.